Years ago, I was in a meditation with some friends. We were just sitting at this friend of mine's home and just doing some really lovely meditation, as we would often do. And on this particular day, something really unusual happened to me. So much so that it caught the attention of my friends who were sitting there with me, and they all just stared at me. They were like, "What's going on?" And I literally felt like I had a complete download. And this is what came to me. It's something I have wanted to share. In fact, I've put it into my 4th and 5th book. I just haven't got around to finishing them. So I'm going to share it with you today because I think in this time of this global pandemic, lockdown, social distancing, there is so much stress in this world. And the fact that we are so disconnected from one another is hugely stressful. And for a lot of people, they have found themselves extremely depressed as a result of not being able to connect with loved ones, not being able to hold, hug, and literally just connect with anybody. It's really been very difficult for all of us, myself included, actually. So I want to teach you this. It's not even a meditation. What can I say? It literally just was a download that came through to me. So I want to teach this to you. It is something really, really simple, but I honestly feel that you can benefit. It is something that I have been practicing and has really shifted where I am. It's a very, very simple technique. Initially, I called it my love hour, and you'll see in a moment why. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to rename it because that sounds a bit cumbersome. But if you are familiar with any kind of meditation and that feeling of being in love, if you are in love with somebody or in love with your partner, your spouse, your children, that sense of love, you can literally just feel your heart expands. Okay, so my love hour is basically to bring us back into our bodies, because very often when we are stressed, we are externalizing our thoughts, and because something outside of us, something in our environment has created the stress for us. So I like to just return back into the body. As you know, if you've been working with me before, you know that virtually everything I do in terms of therapy that I offer is all to do with the body, because the body has the most incredible innate wisdom. But more than that, it has been scientifically proven by, I think it was HeartMath. Yes, it was HeartMath. They actually did a study where they connected people to ECG and EKGs, which is all the wiring on the brain to a computer and onto the heart. And what they did is they measured the field. The heart field, the field of the heart, is actually 60 times greater. Yes, 60 times greater than that of the brain. So in other words, we can actually feel into the space. We have the ability to pick up things from around us. If you are at all intuitive, or if you're like me, you're an empath, or what is also known as an HSP, meaning highly sensitive person. Perhaps I can put some links to this video for you as well. An empath is somebody who, or an HSP is, you're very sensitive to your environment. So you tend to pick up from other people's emotions, your loved ones, or also just around in the environment around. So I digress a little bit, but I think it's really, really important. For instance, I don't like going into shopping centers. I don't like going into any environment where there are lots and lots of people. So malls for me are a no-no. Going to big events where there are thousands of people, I really struggle in those spaces, simply because I am an empath and I am a highly sensitive person. So I tend to pick up on the energies around me. And I don't like that. And very often when I come back from being at the shops, if I've had to go there and do a whole lot of things, I literally run in with a list, do what I need, and I'm out as fast as I can. When I come home, I actually feel grungy. I feel kind of toxic. Sometimes it's so bad that I literally just go and have a shower, or I will take off my shoes and I will walk around outside barefoot on the grass. Actually, that's another link I'll put for you as well, because when we are on the grass, either lying on the grass or walking barefoot, we are earthing, we are discharging all the toxic energy that we have picked up. So as an empath and as a HSP, a highly sensitive person, I find that things around my environment affect me. And this is particularly bad for me around full moon. It is also around the solstice and any eclipses, when the energy is really intense. I kind of struggle, I feel it. But at the same time, this might sound like a curse, but actually it is a huge blessing for me, because whenever I work with somebody in therapy, I'm able to connect with them on such a deep level. This might sound really, really strange, but I've even had my body shift and change when I'm working with somebody. I've suddenly developed aches and pains that are not mine, backache, like a pain in the side, that merely is telling me what is going on in the person that I'm working with. I've had extreme situations where my voice has changed completely when I'm working with somebody, and even they've looked at me in surprise, and I'm like, wow, what happened? And that's because I've somehow got in sync with them. That is the empath that I am. And that's what makes my work really powerful. It's because I very quickly get into the same sort of step and the same energy space with somebody. It doesn't matter whether I'm working with them online or in person. I'm able to connect very deeply. And it's that empathic energy that I really think I bring such a different dynamic to the space when I work with somebody. It doesn't happen every single time, but a lot of the time, that's what happens. So this heart field that we have, if you think of somebody you love, and you just close your eyes for a moment, the moment you think of this person, you can almost feel your heart's energy kind of expanding. So just take a moment and just do that exercise with me. Just think of one person you love. And if you can't think of a person you love, think of an animal you love. And if you can't think of an animal that perhaps you don't have a fur baby, think of something you love. The key is what you love. That's the critical thing. Now, I just want you to notice that as you think of that person, you'll actually feel your energy shift. So this exercise is really done well when you are stressed and you want to get out of that stress state. Just drop into your heart and think of this individual. Think of your fur baby. Think of that, whatever object it is that you love so much. The more you do that, you will notice that your heart just kind of expands. And just sit in that moment and just think of that person. Send them love and feel the love in your heart. Really let that expand. They could be on the other side of the world, and you can even project that love to them. So in that moment, just think of them and imagine that you are sending this love to them, as if it was a pipe of energy or a ribbon of energy that is going to them. Just think of them and send them that love. And the more you send them that love, you will actually feel your heart expanding. And it just gets bigger and bigger. And the more in love with the person or the object or the fur baby or your child, whoever and whatever it is, the more you practice this, the more your heart is just going to expand and expand and expand. And if you had to sit in this state for 5 to 10 minutes, you might even get really emotional. You might even just feel a huge wave and beautiful sense of gratitude coming over you. Because there is so much to be grateful for in having that love. So my love hour is to do this exercise every hour on the hour. Now that might sound like a lot, but if you can get into this habit, and as I said, coming back to this COVID-19 pandemic, lockdown, social distancing, where we've been separated from each other. Maybe your loved one is in another country or in another city and you haven't been able to have that holiday together or that weekend that you planned, and you're kind of feeling a little depressed. Just focus on them, close your eyes, and just for a moment focus on them and feel into this energetic space. And just literally sink into that space. And then send them love. Send them love, send them love, send the love out. If you want to, you can literally send the love out into your room. So whatever room you are sitting in the office or your room at home, your bedroom, your lounge, fill the room with love. Then move that out to your house and your property and fill that space with love. And then keep sending it out to your village, your town, your city. Imagine the entire area being filled with love. Out into the country, your entire country. See the boundaries and the borders of your country. And then eventually to the continent that you're on. And then out into the world. And literally see the whole world enveloped in this love that you have. It is such a powerful, beautiful energy. Now here is something really, really powerful. The reason I suggest doing this every hour on the hour, and literally, you know, we look at the clock all the time. You can even set your timer on your mobile phone if you want to, just to ping on the hour, and then just close your eyes and drop into your heart and let your heart expand. The more we do this exercise, i.e. every hour on the hour, the more our heart-based energy is going to fill and be around us. And by doing this, what we are doing is we are literally projecting love into the world. You can add gratitude into it if you want. You can add joy into it and happiness if you want, because that's all part of love. Every time you do that, the more you do this exercise, the more your heart is going to be filled with love. And you cannot be angry when you are filled with love. You cannot be stressed when you are filled with love. This is why this is such a powerful exercise. And you certainly cannot be depressed. You can't be miserable. It's not like, oh, woe is me. The world is on top of me. Sure, things might be going wrong. And if you're one of those people who've lost your home or your business or your job as a result of the pandemic, I really feel for you. But instead of dwelling on your losses, dwell on your heart, dwell on this love. And here's the reason why. The more your heart is filled with love and joy and gratitude, the more you become a magnet, attracting things into your life spontaneously. It's like you're living in flow. This is what the ancients knew. This is what, if you look at all the law of attraction books, Rhonda Byrne and The Secret, and I think her other book was The Magic, and I can't remember the third book. Maybe it was something about gratitude. I can't remember. But all of these different law of attraction specialists talk about emotion. And if you look at emotion, it's emotion, energy and motion. So this energy from our heart center is energy in motion. It's going out into the universe, going out into the world. By living in a state of love and joy and gratitude and all of these beautiful, yummy emotions, what you're doing is you are sending out ripples into the universe. It has to come back. So what we put out is what we're going to get back. The more we put out into the world, the more we are going to get back. So by focusing on love and gratitude and the joy in your heart, the more that goes out, the more you're going to get back. And if you have been jobless or homeless or lost something or lost somebody that you really, really cared for, try and step back into this space. I know what it's like to experience grief. I've lost my only brother, I've lost my mum, and some really, really good friends of mine as well. So I know what it's like to be grieving. but they wouldn't want you to be grieving. They wouldn't want you to be miserable and sad. They want you to live your best life possible. So even if you want to, very often I do this exercise and I think of my mum and I think of my late brother as well. And you know what? I just feel my heart just go like this with energy, because I had so much love for them. And just because they've passed doesn't mean I don't have love for them. I still feel them around energetically, because I believe that once we die, it's literally like we take off a coat and we step into another world. The coat of this physical body is what I mean. And so I believe that they are with us in spirit. In fact, people like John Edward, the crossing over specialist, and many others, the long-eyed medium, will tell you that our loved ones are always with us. It's just that we can't see them. So this way of getting in touch with your heart and feeling those beautiful feelings is going to help you tremendously. Another aspect, when we are filled with love and we really feel this feeling, this beautiful innate feeling of love, as I say, it's so delicious and so yummy. What it does is it also stimulates oxytocin. And oxytocin is known as the bliss hormone, the happy hormone. It's also the hormone that we use when we bond with somebody, when we physically hug somebody or love somebody. That oxytocin is released. So by stepping into our heart and literally sinking into our heart and filling our space with love, we are getting a dose of this oxytocin. So by being separated from your loved ones during this time, this is a way of reconnecting. And I can assure you, take it from me, self-love is the greatest self-care that you can ever do for yourself. So when you are sending love to somebody else, your loved ones, your fur baby, the object, whatever it is that you love, by sending that love out, you are actually the recipient of that love at the same time. Now that sounds really crazy, but it's true. So the more you do this, the more you practice this, you are going to walk around with this absolutely beautiful energy of love. It's just going to ooze through all your pores. It's going to ooze around your environment. And in no time, you're going to pick yourself up from being traumatized, angry, depressed, stressed, even if you are having suicidal ideations, which I know unfortunately a lot of people have experienced during lockdown and the pandemic. So I really hope that this idea that was literally downloaded to me, I'll never forget the looks on my friends' faces as I just sat there and they could see something was happening, and I shared this with them and their eyes like literally popped out and they all just said, wow, something happened in the room. They could actually feel it. That's how palpable it was. And I literally just went gooseflesh from head to toe, and I could just feel this energetic force overcome me. And it was really, really beautiful. Something I've never experienced before, but something deeply, deeply meaningful. So there you are. There's my love hour. Every hour on the hour, drop into your heart. Think of something you love. And the more often you practice this, so in the beginning it'll feel a little bit awkward. It's like riding a bicycle, you know, you kind of wobble here and there until you get your rhythm, and then you can take off and go and flow. The more you practice this, the easier it's going to become, and the more you will just feel your heart just expanding and expanding. And every moment that your heart expands, this field of energy around you is going to expand. So please, I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear what happens to you. I seriously would, because I need some feedback from people who practice this exercise, just to get an understanding of what else is possible with this. It's something that I still need to explore in greater detail, but I've really given you the essence of it all. And I will share those links for the earthing, the grounding, the empath, and the HSP. I will share those links wherever I can below this video, so that you will have them and you can go and check that out if it's something that speaks to you. So I hope this is going to make a huge difference to you, and I just send you all the love And when I do this exercise, I will include you and be sending love to you. And I really think more than anything, this world needs so much love today, more than anything, and more than any other time in our history. There's so much anger, there's so much sadness, there's so much racism, all these things that are so unnecessary. If only we could spend and live in our hearts and be in our hearts, I firmly believe this would be a much kinder, more beautiful, compassionate, caring, gentle world. Because when you come from a space of love, you actually cannot hurt somebody else. In fact, there is a saying, hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. So in other words, people who have been abused and hurt in their lives, they take that hurt with them and they project that into their next relationship or their friendship or whatever it is. So that saying, hurt people hurt people. Imagine if we could walk around with more love in our hearts, that love people love other people, and that we project more love into this world. So there you go. Enjoy this technique. I didn't expect this video to be so long, but I really wanted to give you the essence of it. So love and blessings, and enjoy. Take care. Thank you.